In while you were speaking, sir, you actually talked about this mindfulness as an aspect. Now, in your book, we once again find this particular facet of mindfulness. So, how do you think that this mindfulness is actually linked with the overall creativity?
Mm. Yeah, that's a very good question, Tamal, because as you know, the underlying theme in my book, there'll always be a background of mindfulness and meditation, because these are the things which actually helped me become more resilient, discover a reservoir, and be anchored with, stillness, peace, and happiness. And also because a lot of the listeners will be people who may be, into reading, writing, poetry, into any kind of, creative things. And that's why people would be interested in listening to a talk about books. So for them especially, and that's why I'm very happy that you asked this question, that mindfulness, we all know, is a very important fact for decreasing stress, decreasing burnout, increasing our happiness and well being. But not many people know that it also is a very important factor by which we can increase our creativity. Our creativity, innovative ideas, new ideas, thinking out of the box. And in the chapter, I explored a lot about creativity and mindfulness. Broadly speaking, our thinking can be categorized into two ways. One is the convergent thinking, which is a linear thinking. For example, there is a problem, a mathematical problem or a logical problem, and you apply your logic and your, kind of the logical part of your brain, and then you try to solve it, and these are important things. But there is another thinking, which is the convergent thinking. And convergent thinking is typically the thinking which we call as thinking out of the box. The aha moments we have, some innovative, creative ideas, some many discoveries and inventions have been made with the help of this convergent thinking. And convergent thinking is not really sequential and logical. It comes seemingly out of thin air, and sometimes people, like I remember reading in my school story about Archimedes and his eureka moments. He was having a bath or something and he jumped out of the tub. And there's so many examples. Yeah, in biology, we used to read about DNA molecule and the Watson and Crick model. I think that he discovered in his sleep. So there are so many things when you're not actively thinking and ideas come. And this divergent thinking has been helped to increase our creativity and mindfulness, and especially an open awareness form of mindfulness, which I've described in the book, that helps increase our divergent thinking. So briefly, I'll tell the readers, like when we talk about mindfulness, typically we take a kind of a anchor which brings us to this moment. It can be a breath, so we are just focusing lightly on the breath and, just breathing in, out, letting our thoughts be there and coming back to our breath. And this open awareness one does not really have an anchor. And you kind of allow all the sensations, whatever is happening, thoughts, emotions, and you're kind of sitting in a sea of all thoughts and emotions, not being distracted by it, once you're a bit still. And that really gives ideas. So if I'll just give a brief kind of a example, a brief, I'll just guide people. For example, if you're just sitting wherever you are and you can lightly focus on your breathing, whether in the chest or in the nose, just breathing in, out, just being totally relaxed and present. A lot of this is described in my book. Then at some point when you are a little still, then you remove the awareness even from the breath, and you're kind of just sitting in a relaxed way, letting all sounds, your senses being totally awake and aware. And this is in brief a example of open awareness mindfulness. And that actually, once you are tuned into that, that can give rise to a lot of ideas. In my case, I've described in the book also, like being a doctor and being having quite a hectic schedule. When I started writing, I found it. I thought, where will I get the time and all? But I was used to my mindfulness meditation and all. And when I would sometimes sit, especially in the morning or when I was a bit relaxed, then I would sometimes sit in this open awareness method, and a lot of ideas would flow in, patterns would come out. Okay, you can write about this in a chapter and that. So I encourage people, mindfulness is there to help you reduce your stress, increase your well-being, but at the same time, those who are interested in being more creative, having new ideas, this will help them a lot.